No, ma'am. No, ma'am. They done got my girl. They done got my sister. Look how they massacred my girl. Like, they done got my good sis. We gotta talk about it. We also have to talk about how this long-haired Sean Cody built Butch Queen whipped out the sleekest, tightest freakum suit that he could find in the back of his closet just to show up and put on a damn show for Louis and the rest of the accused. Like, I'm really crying. Somebody please tell this George Washington. I mean, he looked like Thomas Jefferson at Pride. Like, somebody tell him to sit down somewhere stat. So we start off, and I'm already pissed off because they're shoving Claudia in this rat box as punishment, making Louis watch. He couldn't go to her. They were holding him down. It was just terrible. I hate to say this, but them rats were chewing on that ass like Bubblicious watermelon gum, and I really hate that. Louis, it didn't have to be this way. It did not have to be this way. Like I said, once y'all saw Lestat's picture hanging up there with him looking like he owned a couple 100 acres of cane fields or cotton fields, you know what I mean, and owned the people to work them too. Once y'all saw that, y'all should have dipped. Like, now I'm looking at it, it just feel like y'all sat there waiting for him to come back. But next thing you know, they're on the stage, right? The sham trial or whatever's happening, Claudia, Madeline, Louis up there. They've broken who knows how many Coven laws. Anytime they try to speak, the Coven uses their telepathy on them, scrambles their brains a bit. Like, it's just a mess up there, honey. Like, they got Claudia's diaries up there. Like, it's girl, they done went into her browser history, her search history, girl. And she couldn't use the excuse I used when I was younger and they were searching my history. My shit. It was the pop-up. Girl, I don't know what you're talking about. Shirtless men? I don't know what you're talking I don't know why that would be in the history. It was a pop-up. Girl, Claudia. Oh my God, the homophobic trauma. Claudia could not use no excuse. They had her books wide open. You hear what I'm saying? Santiago, of course, went through all the things that Claudia wrote about when it came to offing Lestat in her diary. Then when he was done with that, he went ahead and just gave one of her journals to a member of the audience and told them to pass her shit around and read it. And I was just like, oh my God, that's so... Y'all really reading my innermost thoughts. That's crazy. But the other thing to me, though, is like, if y'all have this law about, oh, well, y'all can't write the histories of the vampire, why the fuck are you passing this shit around to the audience member of human beings? You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if y'all thought that shit through. I don't know if y'all thought that through. So, of course, Louis tries to get up. They, tries to fight back, but they have sliced those tendons, honey. You cannot get up. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. Like, you need to press that button. Would hate to have this kind of injury. Like, when I say absolute hate, it reminds me of those, like, between your finger paper cut ass. Obviously, it's more intense than a paper cut, but I'm just saying, like, where it's at, the discomfort. I just would hate to have this kind of, like, injury. Here comes Mr. Mamas. Here comes Mr. Mamas. Here comes a homosexual. Like, oh my gosh. One thing about the bitch, though, he looks good in this outfit, I will say. I ain't gonna lie. Like, Sam Reed looks good. Like, he looks good in fucking this outfit. Either way, he makes this grand entrance on stage. Santiago gives him something to swear on, and it's what Claudia wrote his last words in. She did it, of course, in his blood. Lestat said that he was there for justice. And I'm like, okay, that's cute. When are we going to get justice for Claudia? When are we going to get, what about that justice? What about that justice? So back at the interview, Daniel says, okay, so your new boyfriend sold you out, to your old boyfriend. And then Armand gonna say, all right, I sold him out. Like, all right. As if to say to Daniel, like, please back off. We get it. Like, you don't have to go in on me so hard. But I'm like, bro, no, you sold him out to Lestat. Like, we ain't never gonna brush over that. Like, we're never gonna brush over that you sold him out to his previous abuser. Like, get out my face. So then Lestat and them gonna come up with this PowerPoint presentation of his side of things, his side of the story. And he started talking about the first boy, of course, that he loved or whatever that he was with. And this is when we see Armand, we see that he's being apparently kept captive by Sam. I'm like, okay. I'll get back to that. Forced to watch what would unfold, of course, on the stage. Now, Louis was like, oh, well, Armand, he was just as imprisoned as the rest of us were in that moment. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay. Like I said, I'm going to get back on it. He said Armand was looking for a way to save me, blah, blah, blah. Keep in mind, the name of this episode is I Could Not Prevent It, which, of course, is what Armand says about this situation, this entire situation later on. I don't believe his ass. When Lestat gets to the New Orleans story in his PR spin speech, Santiago asks who he met there. Of course, he looks at Louis, and this is the first time that he actually has looked at Louis since he's been on stage, since he's come out, and he said his name. The actors are amazing here. Jacob's amazing. I mean, y'all already know I'm so in love with all these actors. They just do a phenomenal job. But like, you know, him seeing him for the first time, kind of like, or looking in his eyes for the first time, saying his name. Jacob's reactions to it, Sam's reaction. It was just like, y'all are really eating me up. You're eating me up. So of course, Lestat starts the story. He's like, Louis was a troubled man, alienated from his own desires, cold. He was violent. He was hunting me down. He wanted me. He said, come to me. Then Louis out loud says, come to me. Those are his words. Come to me, F you. And the crowd immediately responds to what Louis is saying. And they was like, girl, just shut the hell up. Boo. And the telepathy from the coven members got Louis to do just that, to shut the hell up. And so Lestat's, of course, trying to gaslight him, like, you know, they could have been your own desperate ass words, Louis. Like, don't play with me. Like, he's like Lestat really didn't say come to me. Like, he's over here trying to act like he didn't say that shit. But he did speak truthfully about the specific moment where he gave Louis the gift and they shared a kiss of acceptance or whatever, Santiago says. But it seems like someone who, honestly, we saw fidgeting before when Lestat mentioned that he was with a man. Seems like this person has a problem with what Lestat is saying because he says a homophobic slur really loud. And then Lestat pops up right behind him so quick. I was like, geez. And he says, hey, you got a problem with that, sweetie? Like, scared the hell out of him. Girl, the many ways in which Lestat ate this guy up. He was like, first of all, you didn't fire that gun one time when you were out there fighting. Your shit got overrun. I would call you a deserter, but you're too inept to even do that because you couldn't even read the map to leave in the first place. So you had to stumble your way back and claim that you got lost in the fog. Oh, and on top of that, you're gay. I seen the matching tattoos that you and your friend got together. So, girl, just play with you might be able to play with some Lego blocks and some motherfucking action figures, but what you won't be doing is playing with me, bitch. I was like, God damn. Y'all know me. I love when a homophobic person gets dragged. It's music to my ears. I'm so sorry. I love it. So Lestat then continues. He gonna do this big demonstration. Louis told me once that he'd leave me, that I'd be alone. And then he's like, here, random guy in the audience, take my hand. This is the loneliness. This is the depth of the loneliness that Louis threatened me with. Louis threatened him with this kind of loneliness. I was like, Lestat, you are a mess. Like, you. Oh my God. Santiago's reading Claudia's diary in this accent, and oh my gosh, it's giving microaggression. That's a macroaggression, actually, girl. This whole thing, this stage is a macro. Anytime Santiago whipped that shit out, I'm just like, girl, is that improv? Did the script tell you to do that? So in the actual interview, Armand was like, Lestat stood on that stage and took pieces of Louis' life, bent them and twisted them into his own narrative, basically. But then Louis was like, wait, girl, wait a minute now, because some of that shit was true. And then we cut to the scene. Oh my God. We cut to the scene where Louis is begging Lestat to turn Claudia. I'll never leave you again. Oh my God. Lestat warns him so many times. The gift cannot be given to children. The emotional roller coaster of adolescence, she's going to be experiencing that in perpetuity. You know what I mean? For how many hundreds of years? You know, by the very end of it, he's just like, you will regret this for the rest of your life. And I mean, he spoke true on that, at least. But I mean, y'all didn't help me not regret the shit. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, y'all played a part in me regretting the shit for the rest of my life. What you mean, bro? So, I mean, Louis is on his hands and knees at this point, begging, please, 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 dragging Claudia's body to him. Oh my God, it was terrible. He says, I'll do any. He says, not only does Louis say I'll do anything, he says I'll be anything. I'll be anything. And I'm just like, but that's definitely not like. So we cut back to the stage, and Lestat says, Claudia's my blood. I made her for Louis. When you sentence them, you sentence me too. He's off script now with that. He's off script because Santiago rushes him like, girl, what the hell are you doing? Louis like, yeah, Lestat was not lying about that shit. He did warn me. I have downplayed my own role when it comes to like what happened to Claudia, all this stuff. So then we cut back to the stage because on the stage, Lestat says, so what I told Louis basically came true. Claudia became more and more unstable. Lestat is saying when Claudia was swirling in the wind for 7 years, Louis was essentially a bad partner. Like he was saying, he was just he was disinterested, melancholy, vitriolic, like he was just a mess. I was waiting for him to love me like I love him, and wouldn't you go find affection elsewhere? That's why I slept with Antoinette. I was like, okay, girl. I was like, okay, Lestat. Like, we see here a side that we didn't see before, right? Because Louis was tagging Lestat, like tagging him. And Lestat kept saying, I'm holding back. Please stop. I'm holding back. But Louis was laughing like, girl, look at your face. First of all, you started it, so I'm going to finish it. And I'm going to take this hand here and wrap it around that scrawny neck of yours, just like you did our daughter. And I ain't going to stop until your eyes pop, okay? Like, Louis was really banging Lestat's head into this coffin. Like, he was going in. But Lestat was clearly just more focused on the fact that Claudia had come back and Louis was leaving with her. Lestat did not want Louis to leave. Lestat wanted Louis' affections, as he admitted later on stage. He just did not, because that's all he was focused on. You're leaving, during that scene. That's what really sets him off and sets the events that we know into motion, right? Where Lestat ended up dropping Louis from the sky. This is a piece of the puzzle that we did not have before, but it's just like, okay, girl, but Louis was just defending Claudia, so I just, okay. Then Lestat goes off script again and says, I'm burdened with my maker's temper. And Santiago was like, wait, that's not what the talking points say. Santiago says, actually, like Santiago tries to like, actually being dropped from the sky. He says, actually, Louis was just dropped 2 kilometers, and it would be a big deal for human beings, right? But vampires can take that kind of drop. They can handle it. Don't worry. So it's not that bad, essentially. And that's always the route, right? Like when you, if in cases of when people are being abused or someone's being oppressed, it's always like, it's not actually happening. You're not feeling this way. You're not experiencing this pain. But if you are, guess what? It's not actually that bad. And it's just like, it's crazy. But then, like, you could see while Santiago was talking, right, like, you could see on Lestat's face that he was not comfortable with what was being said. And so he corrects Santiago and it's just like, that's not the truth. The truth is that he was not fine. I let go of him on purpose. I did it to hurt him, and it did hurt him. After, he was a broken thing. I know, I saw, because I was the one who broke him. I couldn't force him to love me, and so I broke him. What is worse than that? Crushing what you cannot own. Sam was acting in this scene. Do you hear me? He was acting in this scene. But while this is happening, Claudia is looking at Louis like, silly bitch, you better not be falling for this shit. Like, he's doing it again. He's hurting you again. And she's so right. Lestat said, I will always be sorry for what I did for you. And Claudia said, if it's true, then it's too late. And she's right. Even if it's true, even if it is true, it's too late. And so I genuinely think like Lestat and abusers like Lestat can have some kind of clarity about why they do a thing, why they do these abusive things, right? And they can have that clarity and explain it to you very clearly why they do certain things, cry in front of your face, and explain to you why they are hurting you and how they sorry or whatever. And they do it, some of them with these like puppy dog eyes, expecting for you to take them back. And it's just like, just because you have clarity about that shit doesn't mean that you won't do the shit again. Are you in a place where you just have clarity about something that you're doing and you just gonna keep doing that shit? It's that's what happens most of the time, is a repetitive abuse, you know? Because someone can know why they're doing something and just keep doing it. Just because you're sorry or you think you're sorry doesn't mean that a victim should put their life on the line and get back with you just because of your sorry, girl. Like, I agree with Claudia. Sometimes it's just too little too late, mama. That's it. That's it. Louise said this is what Lestat does over and over, though. Like, again, till you're not sure what's true, little crumbs of what's real, essentially. That's all your ass gets. Then he has you. You know, it's the cycle of abuse. It's the cycle of abuse. Claudia was so pissed about the situation that she got the hell up, like bloody feet and all. She was just like, great apology, idiot. You dropped him like an egg from an airplane. Like, he just comes and shares. Lestat just comes up here, shares his sob story, and we're supposed to forgive him just like that? She said, can I stand here and cry and say I'm sorry for attempting to kill Lestat, since that's what we're doing here? Like, can I be forgiven too if I stay here and share my sob story and cry? Girl, the coven used Cerebro to sit her ass down so quick. Do you hear me? You hear me? Claudia said, why do I even bother? Like, this was never about me. I was just a roof shingle. She looks at Louis when she says this. I was just a roof shingle that fell off your house. Jeez. She was like, girl, never mind. Let me just sit my ass down. Never mind. And then, of course, Madeline don't know what the hell going on. She says, are we on trial? And Claudia was like, girl, this ain't no trial. This is stoning. And Louise said after that, she didn't suck the air out of the whole place with that statement. But the show still went on, of course, until the sentencing happens. Let's skip to that. Madeline, of course, gets death. But this moment is important because Madeline could have just said, and because Claudia was encouraging her to, honestly, Madeline could have just said, I'll renounce, these people and save myself. But she chose Claudia. She said, Claudia is my coven. To me, this is everything Claudia wanted, right? For someone to choose her over everything and everyone else. It just sucks that she only got to experience it in her literal last moments. Side note, I love how Madeline flicks them off here. She flicks them off. She's like, girl, bye. So, of course, Claudia gets sentenced to death. Lestat allows Claudia to have a final request. She gets some guy in the back to take off his hat. She was like, girl, can you take that shit off? She said, all right, good. Now that you have that hat off, I know all y'all faces. If there is an afterlife, I'm coming to kill all y'all. And if there isn't an afterlife, oh, trust and believe I'll still find a way. And I was just like, even Madeline laughed at that shit. I was like, yeah, Claudia ain't going out like, no, you know what I mean? She gonna go out like a G. Like, she finna go out like only Claudia can, pissing y'all off the entire way down. Do you hear what I'm saying? But then when it comes to Louis, the crowd acted like they didn't want to speak. They didn't want to say death. And I'm like, girl, why the fuck they don't want to say death out of it? I was like, but immediately I was like, girl, telepathy. Somebody using telepathy. Immediately. I was like, bitch, what's going on? What's going on? Find out Armand is getting the crowd to say banishment instead of death. And Santiago gets pissed at this, but he was like, girl, you just sentenced him to something even worse than death, so whatever. Than immediate death, at least. And we, of course, find out what that is later on. Daniel asks the obvious question, like, girl, I know it took a lot of effort for you, Armand, but you could have activated this power to try to do something before they got to Louis. Like, you could have tried to save Claudia. And then Armand's response to this, of course, is the title of the episode, I Could Not Prevent It. And I'm just like, bro, what you mean? I just saw you disable a whole restaurant of people. I mean, even when you first met Lestat ass, I think, right? Cast him down, paused everybody around y'all. Like, I don't know. You made them vamps drop their heads on the table in an instant at the restaurant, wherever y'all was at. Like, I'm not doubting it would be hard. But come on, bro. Like, you got Sam of all vampires guarding you. Like, you could have done something. Like, he said, I could not prevent it. Armand said it twice, like he was trying to convince himself. He was trying to convince Louis and Daniel. He was trying to convince himself that his hands were really that tied. Like I said, don't get me wrong. I know that Armand's hands were pretty tied in certain aspects. But I mean, like, he could have done something. The real tea, and this is the real tea, hun. The real tea, Armand, is that in many ways you just like Lestat. You want Claudia out of the picture just like Lestat does. No shade. Like, Y'all want Claudia out of the picture so you can focus on Louis, so Louis can focus on you. Like, you wasn't pressed about no Claudia, and it's just like, I think I would respect you more if you just say that shit instead of just pretending like, oh, I could do, I didn't prevent it. I didn't prevent it. I'm not absolving Lestat of anything, but at least he got his ass up there and said, yeah, bitch, I did that shit on purpose. You know what I mean? Instead of Armand talking like, oh, I just didn't, girl. So they snatched Louis up, filled that coffin up with rocks. I mean, just terrifying. I'd be like, bro, just kill me, bro. What are y'all doing? Just kill me. What are you doing? Oh my God, terrifying. Locked his ass up in the coffin, left him downstairs just to starve to death. Just to starve. Like I said, at that point, just kill me with the sunlight. Like, at that point. Oh my God, didn't even get to see Claudia's last moments, bro. I am literally still in shambles at Claudia singing that I don't like windows when they're closed song while she and Madeline were burning up. Like, oh my God. I was like, y'all really trying to make me boohoo cry in here. Like, look at my good sis. She did not deserve this. My good sis did not deserve this. She was the realest bitch in the building. She was the realest bitch. But that's what y'all do to real bitches. Why? Oh my God, don't get me to start preaching. That's what y'all do to real bitches. That's what life do to real bitches. It's always the real bitches that get burnt up. Always. When a bitch trying to tell you the truth, when a bitch trying to tell you what the real tea is, oh, everybody get mad, bitch. And especially if you're different, like Claudia was, the vampires, oh my God, she didn't stand a chance. Oh, she didn't stand a chance. Louis didn't know what to do with her ass. Armand definitely didn't give no damn about her ass. Lestat ass abusive as hell. She didn't stand no chance. She didn't stand one chance. And I'm like, y'all, all of y'all should be ashamed of yourself. Everybody. Lestat, Armand, Louis, everybody. Louis, yes, you. Everybody should be ashamed. I hope you sit with that shame. Cause now it's just dust on the floor. Now it's just dust on the floor. Y'all should really be ashamed. You should take a good look over your life, over the decisions that your ass done made. And like, just think, like, how did we get here? How did we end up with Claudia being burnt the hell up? How did we end up with that? Oh my God, y'all should be ashamed. You should, Claudia, come back. She said she gonna find a way back. Find your way back. She said she finna find her way back, so that's what the hell I'm counting on. She said she finna come back like Lady Stoneheart. I'm ready. I don't know whatever you got to do, whatever hocus pocus magic trick you got to do to raise Claudia back up. Y'all need to get into it. Stop playing with me. Y'all need to get into it. Now, the fire has yet to happen. For some reason, I thought that the fire was gonna happen this episode, and just things just got so out of control in the fire, and we would see it in this episode, but clearly not, and especially based off of the previews for next episode, it's seeming like that fire is coming with Louis' revenge. That fire is coming with Louis' revenge, and oh, I know that it will be sweet. I know that it will be sweet. I hope that it will be, because you know what scares me? You know what scares me? Is that after all these years, Hallucination Lestat is still visiting Louis, in the interview. So it's just like, and then what scares me even more is that Louis is still with Armand. So it's just like, how much of a conclusion are we actually gonna see if you still over here frolicking around the universe with Armand and shit, and Lestat is still visiting you in your fucking hallucinations? Louis, stand up! Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. But yeah, y'all, I'm gonna sit somewhere and rock back and forth and try and recover from this sad ass scene. This sad ass episode. I'm gonna just rock back and forth in the dark with my eyes wide open, just not blinking, girl. I can't, but look how they massacre my girl. Look how they massacre my girl. Claudia, you were the realest one to ever do it. You ain't deserve none of that shit. Hopefully in the afterlife you can really come back like Arya Stark did, and just off them, because we definitely need to see it. Oh my God. Somebody bring the defibrillator out. Raise my girl back up. Clear. Like, please, somebody help. But that's it, y'all. Please let me know. Please let me know what y'all thought of the episode in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning into my reviews as usual. Stay tuned for more episode reviews, reactions. Y'all already know they're coming each and every week. Love y'all so much, and I'll check y'all out later. Peace. All right, y'all, make sure that you're going to www.zeraxia.com. When you join the wait list there on the site, you will be the first to be notified when I drop my sequel. Also, you'll immediately get chapter 1 of my upcoming sequel of the upcoming book sent to your email as a PDF. So check that out. Also, this is a different excerpt from my upcoming book, so you definitely want to pause to read if you're trying to get your life. Keep in mind that this upcoming book, this sequel, is following up the first book that is already released called Zeraxia, Wrath of the God King. I released it a few years ago. It was my introduction to writing fantasy and stuff, so just go easy on me. But either way, as you can see here, it's given 4.9 stars. It's given 4.9 stars. So yeah, check out Zeraxia, Wrath of the God King while you wait for Zeraxia, The Vengeance of Coldwind, right? And go to Zeraxia.com, sign up, join the wait list, get your free chapter. Thank you so much.